It's your man, PooNanners, your Texas caster and hype master.
And I'm Hermit, your one-stop headshot shop. And welcome to SpawnPoint Week 3.
We've got some really interesting topics for you guys this week, so grab a drink and tune in for a while so we can go over the virtual news of the week.
That's right. To get things moving today, we're getting back onto a favorite topic of ours, the Texas-based strategy hit, Final Assault.
Texas, home state. Final Assault has brought itself right back into our sights today after coming back from the World Cyber Games Championships. VRML Championships are still underway. Competition has got so close to finals that we can almost taste it. It's got a little lemony with like a twinge of cilantro. Anyway,
it's very refreshing.
Yeah, it is a little refreshing. It's crisp. We are already getting to the end of the Challenger Cup, which will allow the underdogs to have a chance to compete against the top 8 ranked players across the world.
That's right. Everyone who's made it this far is truly the cream of the crop, making the matches closer and more exciting than ever before. We congratulate the following players: Not Sporks, Manello, Now Kamoon, Beastrick, Heathen, Milo Papa, Quaka, and the world champion, sadly, it's Bradley, and those who will win the Challenger Cup and face them for qualifying and being the greatest commanders these virtual battlefields have ever seen.
Man, I hear that cream of the crop line. All I could think about is Macho Man Randy Savage, where he's like, the cream of the crop. Yeah. Well, he does that one bit where just like over and over again, it's like the cream of the crop. He pulls out the creamer. It's so good. And sadly, it's Bradley. You know, it's actually he joined VRespawn not long ago. Didn't end up doing a lot with them just yet. But I was like, hey, man, you want a jersey? Like, let me know. So Bradley, come on, man. Hit a brother up. Free jersey. Anyway, remember, there are $1,000 on the line to be won at finals. The final Challenger Cup will actually take place on the 17th, or the Challenger Cup final. And after the round robins will begin, the round robin matches will begin after that. Round robin matches. Yeah. So it's got to be Challenger, basically the open qualifiers in order to try to get in. And then the round robins against the actual people, the pre-qualified, will get in. And then the finals, the real ones, will actually take place August the 24th and 25th to prove who is truly the best commander. Everybody make sure to tune in to the Final Assault VRML channels to see the making of the Summer Champion. You can find all that stuff at vrmasterleague.com. What do you think about it, Herman? Who do you think's going to win?
I'm not sure who's going to win. I've been watching the matches really closely. I'm personally rooting for Manello and Bradley. Bradley, of course, because he's one of ours. Yeah. He's got quite a bit of clout following him from the world champions. You know, we try to act unbiased, but I love you, Bradley. Talk to me more. I love beyond you, that, Manello has shown himself to be a true competitor ever since the Space Junkies finals. I remember being so afraid of facing him down and railgun. Oh my God, he's a nightmare with the railgun. He does not mess around. It's definitely a toss-up, and honestly, really anybody's game at this point.
Yeah. Well, on a bit more of a futuristic note, there was an announcement and a trailer dropped on Reddit very recently from the Space Pirate Trainer developer Illusions. For those of you who don't know, Space Pirate Trainer is a classic VR title from the very early days of VR. I mean, even pre-CV1, pre-HTC Vive, but those of us who jumped onto
my time.
Yeah, those of us who jumped onto the CV1 era train and the HTC Vive train, it was one of the first really well polished games out. You know, there were also games like The Lab from Valve. There was Job Simulator was fairly popular, and then there was also Servios's intro game Raw Data. And Space Pirate Trainer was it's a classic VR title, as we said, and it was a wave shooter. You shot a bunch of robots, you had different weapons, and the developer would keep making changes to it. He was really excited about VR, and people excited to play it. And there were a lot of Me Tooers that came in through just a whole bunch of other wave shooters afterwards, and then people kind of got tired of wave shooters. But then we got to see that technology at OC5, where they were able to do an arena shooter with Oculus Quests. So this is actually be very interesting to see, and the arcade version I think is going to be very popular.
Definitely. Space Pirate Trainer is definitely really fun, but I've always wondered why it's been called Trainer. But I guess now we know, since Arena is coming out to the Oculus Quest. Details are rather spotty at the moment, but at this point we think that it's going to be a multiplayer location-based shooter that will allow up to 4 users to duke it out in a 10x10 space, like an abandoned parking lot or a basketball court or even like a racquetball court.
I'm telling you, man, they're going to replace tennis courts with Quest courts. It's going to happen.
Honestly, I'm down. Let's do it. They also dropped a trailer with it, of course, so let's take a look.
3, 2,
It's very exciting as this guy's in this. They said it could be done in a garage, but this is more like a hangar. But he goes to his starting spawn position.
God, 8 cars side to side in here?
Yeah, and they caught this, as it said at the beginning, directly off the quest. So this is exactly what he's seeing. That's actually, off of one eye. That's why you see this like sliver as they stack it up. But you get an idea of what he's going to do in the game. So one of the first things to look is actually watch his laser shots, and you see they bounce.
Yeah, right? You got to get that ricochet. I think that's really the strategy of this game.
Oh, 100%. There's going to be people, after playing a bunch of this game, that they're going to be doing these bounce shots that are going to drive you insane.
No, you're just going to come out straight out the gate, and somebody's going to get a shot on you that bounced off like 5 different walls and got you like first second, you know?
Yeah, man.
Classic grenade spam strategies.
Exciting stuff from the Eye Illusions guys, and I can't wait to see more about that game. I'm excited to see people leveraging the Quest location-based technology. Like we said, they kind of demoed the concept. They said it is possible, showing Dead and Buried in an arena type environment over at OC5 last year. So it's exciting to see them sort of leverage it and try to do something with it.
I remember even seeing that old video of those guys in the office. I believe it was the Thrust Vector Studios. They had a demo of going around on a space station and solving some puzzles, shooting some aliens. It was a really cool thing to see, you know, 2 dudes just walking around some cubicles having a crazy time in VR.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to replace the Nerf gun fights that they're used to having in cubicles.
You know, honestly, the greatest thing about VR Nerf gun fights is that you don't have to pick up the darts at the end.
Or you don't have to buy more darts when you inevitably lose them all. Speaking of things where you don't lose stuff because you can just pull up the console and spawn more, Neos. We have an interview that takes us somewhere a little bit different than usual. Hermit, tell us about it.
This week, I had the pleasure of interviewing Frooxius, the famous Yellow Foxman and creator of the most in-depth social experience that I've ever been able to find in my short time on the VR scene. It's kind of like a multiplayer VR Unity editor, actually. It allows users to do all sorts of crazy things, make all sorts of crazy worlds, different assets and stuff with each other in the headset. You never even have to leave the experience to, like, experience the things that you're creating. I know he said experience 4 times in a row.
Is it going to be the news Gary's mod?
But honestly, it's almost better than Gary's mod.
Well, it's in VR. Because, of course it's better.
You know, the community is super wholesome. They're a bunch of great guys. But the community is making new things every single day. Here's a little bit of a taste of the interview.
Look on it, you're like, what is this horrifying mess of code?
Oh, yes. I don't know those parts, like...
Right. So, out of all the things that you've done in Neos, or seen in Neos, what was your favorite little experience that you guys had? I saw your St. Patrick's Day party, seen a lot of your Twitch streams, but I imagine there's a lot of things that haven't been caught on camera that are really awesome to see.
Nice. Well, one thing... It's really hard, to think of a single thing, because, like, there's lots of different things, like, happening all the time, and, but what my, like, most favorite moments in this in general are, sort of, like, spontaneous creativity moments, like, where essentially you're just hanging out in a world and somebody says something, like, they say, wouldn't it be funny if this or that? And then, like, within 5 minutes, everybody starts working on it. Like, it completely, like, transforms the world. Or, like, they'll build out something simple. Like, one example is, like, we were like in this, like, nice like a green world. It was like grass and, like, it was sunny and everything. And then somebody, I forget what it was, like, somebody, like, spawned something, like, that looked, like, a little bit creepy, and somebody went, oh, that looks like something from Doom. And we were like, maybe we can make this world, like, look like a Doom. And we, like, put, like a hell skybox, and we put, like, change, like, all the grass, like, to this pulsating flash, and, like, we put, like, randomly generated, like, screams, and, like, then we took, like, an educational model, we took the spine, and, like, put the spine as a giant arc over the environment, and, like, and within the few, like, minutes, like, this beautiful sunny world transformed into this, like, hellish, like, landscape that was, like, a level from Doom.
That sounds
great. And it was, like, even a funnier part of that, because, like, there's, like, this guy who is using Neos to teach at VR at university. And what we would do, like, we sometimes, like, visit the lessons, like, or we visit the students. And we have, like, this session joiner, where essentially, like, the orbs which represent the different sessions. And we'll spawn it in, and we'd, like, be watching the students, and it was just, like, a bunch of, like, people standing in a circle in hell, looking at the students, like, at the orbs. And we're like...
God, it's like those scrying orbs, or, like, whenever you'd see them in old Disney movies, the witch would just pop open and be like...
Yes. Yes. Which student we are gonna, like, invade next?
Right. Well, I mean, now that you have those Twitch chat commands, I guess you could activate those from other places and start switching the gravity on those poor kids.
Oh yes. Well, we have to like bring it in. So like we have like a permission system. So like if they disable like actually by default we didn't let them. I'm not sure now. But
I think we'll go much of it.
Yeah, so we've got a little bit more of that as well. There's a longer version that we have that you'll be able to see in the description below, and we'll even link it at the end of the show, right?
Of course. Again, that was developer of Neos, Frooxius. Go join the Yellow Fox Genius and his gang of probably the smartest people I've ever seen in VR. The game is still free, and the community, while growing, is extremely welcoming. They even have their own currency. That's how far ahead they are of everybody else. See what awesome things you can all go out and build together.
I absolutely love hanging out with smart and brilliant people because when I'm around them, I'm just like, sweet. No one has to think these guys are going to do it for us.
Right? It's not going to be me this time.
Yes. Speaking of games that you don't have to think about when you play them, No Man's Sky. I'm just kidding. This week we saw the groundbreaking release in the VR scene that everyone was excited for and wanted to see. The ever-popular controversial game No Man's Sky, created by Sean Murray and Hello Games, released by their Beyond patch that came out just this last Wednesday to a very excited crowd of VR users, including everybody at VRespawn and all of our streamers that happily brought this amazing experience for people to try in their headsets.
The VR sphere has been buzzing with hype leading up to the release, which just came out on consoles earlier in the day and now on PCs much later. I remember seeing all the influencers and streamers just waiting impatiently on camera for the update to come out. They're all like refreshing Steam. I heard that some people couldn't even get onto the store page.
Oh, yeah. People are itching for it. You know, that's the thing with No Man's Sky is that it's brilliant in concept and very similar like to Minecraft, but, you know, just reimagined and much larger. And that's what drew people into the concept, especially like procedurally generated. And a lot of games that have had that, the idea looks really good. And then like EA gets a hold of it with the what happened to Spore, or with No Man's Sky that, you know, weren't able to deliver on the hype initially, but eventually the game got there and word got out that he was able to do it. And with the VR release, it's similar in concept. Like that's why you have it better like on the PS VR, that we have less bug issues for PSVR users because the consoles are uniform. But the PC users, unfortunately, have had a bit of a rocky release. They have significant crashes on there. Most of them have problems whenever they try to enter the Nexus multiplayer turned on for PSVR. But the PC guys, as I said, you know, disparate systems, disparate problems. I believe you even said that if you have like high-end hardware, you have worse problems?
Yeah, no, that's true. For a lot of PCs with lower spec hardware or WMR devices, the game just wouldn't launch. But beyond that, there's been a lot of issues amongst higher end systems like index users and people who have like 2080s in their machines and things like that, which usually have no issues, of course, because when you drop $1,200 on a graphics card,
well, I heard the issue was that people have a 2080 or a 2080 Ti or whatever, and they would crank all the graphics settings. And it turns out that even if you have a really good system, that cranking the graphics settings in PC level VR would cause it to become unstable, and that you just literally shouldn't do that.
You just can't take it. But luckily, of course, the internet's been doing what the internet does best and has compiled several excellent posts that have best suggested settings for different headsets and hardware requirements. So there'll be a few linked down below for your use.
Yeah, and Hello Games is perfectly aware of all this, though. And Murray has been busy putting out fires while the company works on various fixes. And impressively enough, though, they were able to deliver a hotfix patch for the Steam version that fixes a great many of these bugs and performance issues. Just like little, dotting the I's, crossing the T's. And this is at least calls, your copy to run way more smoothly. Me, not so much. We're working on that one. If you're on PC, make sure to use the beta branch of the game. That's where they're pushing all of the updates before they have a big patch for everyone else so that, people in the beta branch can test it out. This should help you fix some of those issues that you may be having.
Definitely. To access the beta branch, remember that you have to type in the code 3experimental. That's experimental with a 3 instead of an E. Remember. Can't get it otherwise. It's really important. But No Man's Sky has brought the community together in a major way. I've seen so many streamers flying around,
they're still doing
stuff together. Honestly, we've lost a couple of respawners. Nightfire on the first day did a long marathon stream for 14 hours, and ever since then has been streaming off and on for 6 to 8 hour segments every single day.
On the stream team page all day long. No Man's Sky.
He's been hitting it. And then the day after the game came out, a rather popular organization called the Disrupt put their frontman, Jack Wilmo, in a headset for 24 hours in the name of charity. They donated their entire winnings from that charity stream to Astronauts for Orphans. By flying around and shooting space pirates, they actually helped.
That
orphans
makes my head
across
hurt
the
a little
world.
bit, just to like to know the strap's been just like yanking on my hair for 24 hours. You got to go in there with a shaved head to pull something like that off.
Jack has a shaved head.
Well, there you go.
It's the future haircut.
It is definitely. Whenever I have my hair done, which I'm like, I need to get it done soon, so don't fret. My hair will be back next week. But when I have my hair done and it's all like up in the middle, like that's not VR hair. This guy doesn't play VR. And I was like, well, when I'm on camera, I don't play VR. No,
I've always joked that the true VR haircut, like me and Sour Girl have, is the long on the top, super short on the sides. You got to have that cyberpunk cut.
Yeah, exactly. Although I think bald is probably the way to go, but that's definitely second best.
I got too much vanity. Can't lose my hair.
Yeah, 100%. Well, that's the thing is my age too. Like my brother's already losing his hair, and so I'm holding on to it as long as I can. My brother's like, "How do you still have all your hair?" I was like, "My hair is hairspray and lies." Thank you so much to all the awesome streamers and influencers out there spreading the good word of VR with your No Man's Sky streams. Every single viewer might be another happy face in a headset soon. So go out there and sell the stars for all of us.
As a final note, we would like to note that the final original Oculus founder,
the last one,
left Facebook as of a few days ago. He says that he's taking some time off of work to hang out with his family and travel, which we wish him the best and hope that he recharges well. We thank him for all of what he's done for us in the past. The Oculus headset was a major stepping stone for VR, and we really appreciate all that he's worked on. We can only look to the future to hope and see what Facebook Oculus will do, and I'm pretty sure that we'll definitely be there to report on it when it happens.
Oh yeah, man. These guys do a lot of work, and especially in the tech industry, it's so much work and so fast. I'm surprised he made it this long, to tell you the truth. You have to take a break sometimes, especially when you're leading cutting edge technology like that, and there's a lot of people competing with you, and the market is not growing as fast as you would like. But we're all here to help them get going, and we're all excited for the
keep on chugging, keep moving forward.
Yeah, we're all excited for the holiday season that's coming up and what that's going to mean for the Oculus Quest and all these games that still have yet to release. We're all looking forward to several Quest titles that are being scheduled, that have been talked about, that we're still under NDAs, and also the release on the PC level VR for Oculus. Stormlands, for example, is one that a lot of us are excited about.
Stormlands is going to be great. I'm looking forward to that.
Absolutely, and we can't wait to talk to the communities that form around that one as well. Well, that is all we've got for you guys this week. Thank you for joining us for this week's SpawnPoint. Make sure to catch us every single Saturday, assuming we keep to that schedule, for weekly VR news and content.
Make sure to visit us at Respawn.com for the latest and greatest coverage of all parts of the VR universe. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/VRespawn for updates on us on our team, as well as hit both PooNanners and I up on Twitter. We're both really available. Me more than him, though.
Anywhere you can get us. Yes, exactly. This show is written and produced by Hermit, so definitely hit him up with all the information that you have. This episode, of course, is brought to you by us here at VRespawn. I am PooNanners.
And I'm Hermit, signing off on another virtually perfect day. Good luck out there, everybody, and remember, the space pirates can't get to you if you never leave orbit. Good luck out there.
Go.